Hi, this is Ken Caldwell, Dean of the School of Business Administration at the University of Houston, Victoria. And I'm joined today by one of our senior professors, Dr. Jifu Wang. Dr. Wang had his PhD from Auburn University, and he's the chair of our management department at the School of Business Administration. He has very rich management experiences in international business and a broad social network in the business field. Jifu has been teaching capstone courses in our 2 MBA programs and brings that real world mindset into the classroom. He pays special attention to the course design for creating capabilities in students to meet the business challenges and for career advancement to executive levels. So welcome, Jifu.
Yeah, nice to be here.
So we're going to start with a question that is, I think, a very interesting way to think about school that I know is an area of great interest of yours, which is the learning mentality. So can you talk to us about what are the hierarchies or levels of learning?
Yeah, gladly. For the learning mentality, a lot of students come into the school with different kind of beliefs. And I always ask questions in my capstone classes. So what is their purpose of conducting the MBA program? And a lot of times people tell me, I come to school for knowledge. That is not wrong. Yeah, we need to learn more knowledge so that we know more things. We need to know more definitions. We need to know more principles. We need to know more concepts. But for business school or for business operations, we always are results oriented. So we need to be operational driven, results oriented. We need to get results. So knowledge alone without operations will not produce anything valuable. So what we need to know is not what we are going to have for the results in the end. So in the learning process, we need to memorize those definitions. Of course, definitions are very significant, but we need also to be equipped with skills to handle different situations because the world we are in are dynamic. At different times, knowledge needs to be twisted to fit into the situation so that we can find the suitable or appropriate skills to handle the situation, to get the results we expected. So that's the second hierarchy. The first one is knowledge. We need to know. We need to have the foundation. And then we need to develop skills. We need to know how to do certain things in certain situations. And the last one, which is the most important one, is the mind power. Mind power is significant because that's the effectiveness, that is the right direction. For any business executives, if we don't have the right mindset in place, if we don't know whether we're on the right track or not, if we are in the right direction or not, all our efforts may not go in towards our expectations. So that is why in business school, in our various classes, and especially in the capstone classes, we pay very much attention to cultivating people's mindset or people's mind power so that they can evaluate situations and also they can come up with the suitable skills based upon knowledge so that we can generate the contributions, the real things, solid.
That's interesting stuff, Jifu. And you mentioned a number of times capstone. And for people who are not yet in the business program or maybe haven't looked ahead to what's going to happen at the end of their business program, the ending course of any accredited business program is a capstone strategic management course. And we have 2 projects that we give, one for our bachelor students and one for our master's students. The bachelors do a case competition. They're given a case from a local business and asked to analyze it. And at the MBA level, you give them a simulation that they do in teams called CapSim. And I wonder if you can comment on how those sort of real world experiential learning opportunities help to develop these different hierarchies of learning that you're talking about.
Yeah, so that is a very good question, Ken. So for any students coming to the program, they should have a clear picture for the course plan. So capstone is the final course that's going to bring all the functional classes together so that they can play the general manager's role and they can see how you can utilize accounting, finance, economics, marketing, all these functional areas so that you can become the real kind of general manager to get the integrative kind of results. And the design for our BBA program is to analyze a case, but the focus is more on the situational analysis and then the match between the external and internal analysis. But when students come to MBA, the focus changed. So the situation analysis is something they must have. We call it strategic minimum. They must have it, but having it at the graduate level is not good enough. So when they come into the graduate level, our focus is more on the skill, mind, power building. The BBA is more on the knowledge, learning different things, you know. So that's why we have a principle of management, principle of accounting, principle of economics. But when you come to MBA, it becomes managerial economics, managerial accounting. So that's the difference. That is why completing the undergraduate program is just the minimum kind of education. So students need to come to MBA to learn more of how to apply the knowledge they have learned from BBA program or in other programs so that they can really use them. Only when you use them can you generate results. So that is why we have two MBA programs. One is the strategic MBA, which in the capstone course, we have a listed company in the Texas area. And then we try to, 70% of our attention is going towards the recommendation. Students need to develop doable and measurable actions in their recommendation, not just simply provide an idea. An idea does not generate anything. You have to have clear plan, clear indication of resources. You have the cost, you have the risk assessment, you have the contingency plans, and then you have the justification for the long term. And also, of course, at any time you make any recommendations to stop what we're doing, to do whatever is recommended. And then you have the justification to show why people do that. So for our students to be equipped with those capabilities are very crucial. That's how they get promoted later on. And that's really useful things. Otherwise, you get a bunch of ideas, you get A or B. You're never going to go take an A to the McDonald's, say, I have an A in accounting, can I get a Big Mac? And no, you cannot. So that is why we want students to go to the company to see what the real world, what's the situation, which one is most critical, and how we can handle the critical issues with step-by-step recommendations. Those recommendations, people have done it once or twice. Later on, when they go to the company, they just look at the company to see what are the specific, what are in general, so that they can apply. And also, of course, they have the sharp eyes to find the rooms for improvement, and they can recommend, actions that really can help the organization to move forward. But for our global MBA, we use simulation instead. It's a simulated global kind of software. It's like playing a game. The company is producing drones and cameras. And when the students start they start from year 6. So year 6, we're going to play like 80 years of decisions. Each year, that's dynamic. There's no kind of really something like A or B or C, you make a choice. It's not. It's everything changed when other teams making decisions. So there are about 2,000 to 3,000 teams all over the world in different universities participating in the simulation. So you can see, you know, the dynamic nature when people try to do a private kind of marketing, or people try to produce the drone or cameras, they sell it online, you know, so they can set up their manufacturing facility in all 5 continents, or they decide to produce in 3 continents and then ship their products to the other 2. And then you look at the currency fluctuation, you look at the cost. So all those kind of situations are kind of embedded in the software. I remember one time we were in a restaurant, you know, after our presentation, so students are still excited. They still talk about it. And you know, we know the restaurant owner. So we came and said, oh, you have a lot of big people over here. I said, what do you mean? He said, people talk about $1 million win, $1 million loss. I mean, that's just students talking about what market they get into, you know, success or failure they share with each other. So that's kind of indication that, you know, we want to train our students which are useful, valuable to our society, not just providing them with a diploma.
Yeah, I think both are really great examples of how you can develop these different types of learning. And since you didn't brag about it, I will. Our students come in very highly in this 2,000 to 3,000 school CapSim simulations. We're often ranked in the top 10. So we do very well with this, and your students do very well. So thank you very much, Jifu. This was a great discussion about learning different types of hierarchies of learning and how they're applied in different parts of the business school. Thank you.